What's going on, everybody? Omega Tech here, Coach of the Tampa Bay Infernape, and I'm bringing you PSBL Season 8 PRs, Power Rankings. Usually I do this with my buddy Evan, because he's a non-biased person that just judges these teams based on what they drafted and not the players. But unfortunately, we recorded before this, and my audio for him wasn't working, and he had to go. So I'm just going to review some of his notes and talk about them. Just like I'm going to review my notes and talk about all the teams that are in this league. Now, this is a two-person draft team, and they'll face off against each other in singles. So, for example, I am partnered with Big Tucker, and my team name is the Drunken Boomers. Everybody else in the league has two people within them. So, the way we decided to do PRs this season was instead of a point system of scale of 1 to 10, we decided just to go the worst team to the best team. So, without a doubt, the worst team in this league, in my opinion, and Evan's opinion, we both have them as last, is We Are the Best. So, the team with Mew, Clefable, and Excadrill. In my opinion, they really don't have anything after the Excadrill. Like, Mew, Clefable, and Excadrill are all tier 1 Pokemon. They're all decent at what they do. Excadrill got a buff this season from Rapid Spin, but other than that, I don't understand the Articuno, such a high pick, and Articuno really isn't a really good mon. I understand maybe heavy duty boots on it would be good this season, but I just don't get it for this team. Gastrodon isn't really needed. They already have a ground type. Mega Ampharos is an okay Mega, but it really leaves something to be desired. Lapras doesn't make any sense to me. Honestly, their team is just a bunch of like 3 good Mons, Mew, Clefable, and Excadrill, and everybody else is subpar to decent. Mandibuzz is okay. I mean, their synergy is really only Excadrill and Sand, in my opinion, and in Evan's opinion. Evan feels that this team doesn't really have any depth to it. You can build around it really easily, with the exception of Mew, since Mew can learn every TM. But me and him both agreed that this is probably the worst team. Alright, so now we go to Bulba Squad. Me and Evan agreed that this was the second worst team. Now, I think that Bulba Squad is a step up from We Are the Best. We Are the Best, in our opinion, is clearly the worst team, but Bulba Squad and the next 2 or 3 picks can be interchangeable. Bulba Squad and Buffalo Wild Chargers both kind of get the same thing. They have a solid Steel Fairy Dragon Core. The only thing that Bulba Squad doesn't have that Buffalo Wild Chargers does have is their Steel is okay. Corviknight is an okay Pokemon, but it really isn't worth a tier 2 in my opinion. It just doesn't do anything except maybe bulk up and Brave Bird, Iron Head things. It doesn't even get Stealth Rocks. It's a nice bulky check to stuff, but it just doesn't do enough for what your Steel does. Like, it doesn't threaten anything. It walls stuff, sure, but Skarmory does the job better than Corviknight, like 100 times better than Corviknight. Corviknight is okay. And then the rest of their team is solid, but not really threatening. Like, Milotic is a solid mon, Fernape's solid, Krookodile solid. These are all solid Pokemon. But I think just the other teams in this draft are either more threatening, have more synergy, or are just better overall. They have okay defog options. I mean, Megalodios is okay. It's like a decent Mega, in my opinion. It's not the best. But yeah, that's just my opinion. But Buffalo Wild Chargers, we're gonna skip a little bit because I have Buffalo Wild Chargers at 6. But since they're right next to them, we'll talk about them. They're very similar. Celesteela, on the other hand, is an amazing Steel type. Pretty much can solo teams if you're not careful with prepping against it. Megalodios is more offensive than Megalodios. Some people think Latios is better. That's fine. Sylveon, in my opinion, isn't really a good fairy. It lost Heal Bell. All the EVs lost Heal Bell this season, and so it's just an okay Wish Mon with Hyper Voice. It's a decent berry. Everything else, Hitmontop, Quillfish, Palisand, Alolan Marowak, aren't really Mons that I'm scared of. I understand Alolan Marowak has the electric immunity and it'll be really good with Celesteela. But they already have Mamoswine, and they have good fire switch-ins already. It's just really slow and doesn't do much. And so their team, even though it has Celesteela and some threatening Mons, I would have to put it as number 7. Now, backtracking a little bit, as number 6 is Buffalo Wild Chargers. So number 7 would be the New York Nickets. Me and Evan's bottom 4 are similar. So 9, 8, 7, and 6. New York Nickets is, I believe, a little bit better than Wild Chargers, but not that much better, because I think Lando T, even though it was good last season and the season before, I just don't think it's a good tier 1 this season. The loss of Z-Moves hurt Lando T a lot. Its versatility, it hurt a lot. Even though there's no hidden power anymore, it helps it out a little bit, but the loss of Z-Move, in my opinion, hurt it even more than having no hidden power. Heatran, the same thing. It has the loss of hidden power helped Heatran a little bit, but this was like a solid last season team. Like Lando T, Heatran is a solid core. Togekiss, Mega Gallade, Umbreon. They're pretty good Pokemon, but I just don't understand. And also, I don't understand the Silvally round 3. I mean, Silvally is versatile and didn't really gain anything from the season. So it's just an okay Pokemon. I wouldn't even think about picking it until round 7. That's just my opinion, and Evan's opinion also. And Dracozolt, sure, it's a new fossil Pokemon that hits hard, but Hustle makes it miss, and Volbeak is significantly worse than Dracovich's Vicious Rend, because it can get switched in by ground types, whereas Dracovich can't get water moves can't get switched in by much. You can resist it, but Dracovich is extremely strong. So it's just a discount version of him. A lot of solid Pokemon here, has good hazards, has good removal, but the other teams are better in my opinion. Now this is where our list, me and Evan's list, different. I have Night Raid as the next team as number 5. He has it as number 2. So a big difference from him. He really loves the synergy between Mega Scizor and Galarian Darmanitan, the extreme threats. In my opinion, this team is very good. Mega Scizor is probably the Mega that benefited from hidden power the most being gone. Now, Scizor always had the problem of getting either 2-KO'd or 0-KO'd by a bunch of random hidden power fires. But Mega Scizor is probably the most reliable and bulky Mega now, and it's very, very good in my opinion. Galarian Darmanitan, we all know what it does. It was banned in OU for a reason. Interesting to see what it can do in draft. Rillaboom is a little bit worse. Some people say it's a little better. Tapu Bulu, I'm of the opinion it's slightly worse, but it's still really good. The synergy with Alomomola and Rillaboom isn't the best though, because your opponent's grass moves will hit it Alomomola harder, but they do have Sapsiver Miltank. The Hatterene and Colossal I'm not a really big fan of, but Evan is a huge fan of Hatterene, and Evan is a huge fan of Mega Scizor, Rillaboom, and Galarian Darmanitan, so he has it higher than me. Night Raid doesn't have the best speed in the world. I think they're the slowest team in the league. That's very important for me, and so I have them as number 5, and he has them as number 2. But I definitely acknowledge the fact that Mega Scizor is extremely threatening this season, and we'll see how it goes for them. Now, Team Eon I have as number 4. Evan has Drunken Boomers as number 4. I'm going to talk about Team Eon first. Team Eon is basically the rain team this season. And it's very scary with Dracovich, because I believe Banded Dracovich in rain can almost OHKO with Toxapex from full. If it's especially defensive, I believe it does OHKO Toxapex after rocks, which is extremely scary. The only bad thing about it is it's very linear. You can only really click one move, which is Fish's Rend, and it's definitely you can prep for it. The Rain is very nice. Tornado's T is very nice. It's very fast. It was the best offensive defogger last season. Unfortunately, the loss of Z moves this season really hurt it, but it's still a good Pokemon. Really solid Registeel, Chestnut. Very interesting that they picked Victini here, as Victini's V-Create won't do as much damage in the rain, but they're probably just a little anti-synergy there, but they're probably going to bring Victini without Pelipper, or the same thing, maybe special Victini, but a little anti-synergy. I love Galarian Weezing, I love Poison Fairy, and its new abilities are very good. The only problem is Cursula, Kecleon, and Armaldo. I'm not really a big fan of either all of these. I think they just picked it just because they wanted some Stealth Rocks and some Rapid Spin support for their Rain team, but I really like it. Let's talk about my team. I put my team as number 2, and Evan put my team as number 4, I believe. And what he said about it was Dragapult and Mega Blastoise are top 5 in this draft as Pokemon themselves, and I have them on the same team, which I can definitely see where he's coming from. My team is definitely the fastest in the league. Dragapult, Zeraora, Crobat, and Ninetales. Extremely fast Pokemon. And I do have a lot of good bulk, but the fact that I do not have any Wish support really hurts my walls. And I can see where he's coming from, but I have drafted this type of team before. As long as you have good hazard removal and good sweepers, you can get around that fact. But for him, it hurts a little bit more. I can see where he's coming from. But with the Alolan Ninetales setting up Aurora Veil and Mega Blastoise getting Shell Smash now is insane. You thought Mega Blastoise hit hard before, but Shell Smash, and it's very bulky too, and it has priority. So it's just an insane Mega. I definitely wanted to draft it this time. That was my goal, was to draft a team around Mega Blastoise. And Dragapult was just a cherry on top because I didn't think I was going to get this thing. This thing is insane. Special, physical, can get, is 142 speed, I believe. Very versatile. But I do acknowledge the fact that I do need some Wish support on this team. But we'll see how that goes for me. Now, for third place, we have the Southern Sandacondas over here. They have a really good solid core. They have Tapu Koko, Hawlucha, always a fan favorite. Evan really loves the Tangrowth and the Mega Aggron and the Arcanine Flashfire. Combined with the Hydreigon that is tier 2, which is insane to me because Hydreigon gets Nasty Plot now with this new generation, and it was already teetering on tier 1 the previous generation, but now it's absolutely a tier 1 Pokemon in my opinion. And they just got a Steel in tier 2, and it really combos well with the Tangrowth. Evan is a huge fan of Corsola, the Galarian form of Corsola. I really do like it myself also, but in Draft League we'll see because it is a little weak to knockoff. But his entire team can support the knockoff weakness because Mega Aggron is fine versus knockoff Pokemon. Arcanine, Drapion, but Primarine are all really good mons. Audino, even if it's a tier 5 mon, it does have Wish, it can support Mega Aggron. It has Heal Bell, I believe, also. He has some decent speed and some decent spinners. I really do like this Southern Sandacondas team overall, and it has, it's my number 3 and Evan's number 3 as well. But and we talked about number 2. Mine was myself, and Evan's was Night Raid. But number 1, we both agreed 100% is Team Weeb's. Team Weeb's team is absolutely a dream come true as a team. Cinderace with Libero is pretty much better than Protean Greninja almost, I believe, in draft format. Now, when you're talking about the latter, Protean Greninja probably is better than Libero Cinderace, but they basically got 2 Greninjas because they have Protean Cinderace, Libero Cinderace, and Ash Greninja, which is insane to me. 2 huge threats, and the new the move that Cinderace gets, Court Change, that switches hazards and screens on the field with your opponent is really good. With Ash Greninja trying to transform, that's gonna be very threatening. Toxtricity round 3 is really weird, but it doesn't even matter because the rest of the team is so solid. Skarmory and Cresselia as a wall core is really good. Conkeldurr is a threatening physical attacker that gets defog now. And even if you want to set up on these fast Pokemon up here, and if you're trying to break Cresselia and Skarmory with some setup, they have a Ditto in the back that they can just copy your stats. You can't Dynamax in this league, you can't Z-move in this league. So how are you gonna break these walls or outspeed these threats with a Ditto on the enemy team? Also, the fact that they have a Vikavolt, which gets sticky webs now. I didn't even know that. Evan had to remind me that Vikavolt gets sticky webs. Even their tier 5s are threatening Drampa. This team is absolutely insane in my opinion. They're definitely the best team. Not a perfect team, because I don't think any team is perfect. Evan believes this is a 10 out of 10 team, dream team. But I definitely agree that this team is really good. But that's about it, guys. I hope you enjoyed PRs, and I'll see you the rest of the season. Bye-bye.